hair. I like it. Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome to our special Wednesday Hot Seat 20 Questions with Eric Golden, interviewing one of the EXP top field leaders or executives. You know, last month we had Jason Gessing, CEO, an incredible opportunity to learn more and more about who Jason was and who Jason now has become, and what he's, you know, where his thumbprint is on EXP. It's awesome to have him. And next month, of course, we're going to have our founder, Glenn Sanford, on the 31st of the month. It's a Wednesday. It'll be the exact same link, exact same time. Excited to have that. But today we've got a special guest, and this is one of the big field leaders in the company, Brent Gove. Brent is now here, and we're going to introduce him in just a minute. I want to welcome everybody. If you're a guest to us, this is not specific EXP, although it is primarily for the EXP group of the Freedom Team. The Freedom Team is a 3,000 person organization that's been put together by a few leaders, and we all do a number of things together. But what we do together better than most in EXP is make sure that as agents join our wonderful company, you get to see what EXP has to offer and where to go to get the specific help that you need. So everybody that comes in through this group, the Freedom Team, has the opportunity to have a private concierge hour with our concierge at no cost to them, at no cost to any of our agents at the moment. And what we do, and that's beautiful Miss Kim Herrera at the top here with the EXP Freedom Team, she takes everyone through a personal experience based on what their needs are. Some agents need more training. Some people need more support. Some people need more leads. Some people want to figure out what to do when they no longer have what we call a fixed office or a brick and mortar. Kim helps people neutralize that concern, that anxiety as you come into the company, and gives you a really good idea, or your agents a really good idea of specifically what to do first here at EXP. We do have a specific intake form. I want to let everybody know as you're bringing agents in. Kim, you might want to pop that into the chat bar at some point, and you can pick that up. And again, make sure you complete that once your new prospect or new agent that's coming to EXP starts their onboarding. Make sure you fill it out then, and Kim can help assist from there. But today's a special day. It's a special day because it's been on our calendar for a few weeks now. I'm going to introduce a good friend in just a minute. But speaking of the calendar, let me show you the Freedom Team calendar. I think it's a good idea to do that. Kim, will you pop that up for us? And we're going to highlight, this is a monthly calendar. It's held in the EXP Freedom Team in our workplace group. If you're part of EXP and you're here today, you're part of the Freedom Team. It is a special group. All you got to do is look for it in the search bar, and you will see pinned at the very top of the Freedom Team this calendar. And I'm going to focus on today's date, the 20th, Brent Gove interview. We're going to get to that in just a minute, but I want to focus on next week, because next week is a perfect example of most every week we have here at EXP. Not only do we have 80 hours of live training that EXP delivers to you, but we have additional 4 hours that we think are special for the Freedom Team. If you look at Monday, we always have these at the exact same time, 8 o'clock Pacific, 11 o'clock Eastern, and always on the same link. Everything in Freedom Team is in the same link. So on Mondays, we have a basic level 1 agent attraction class in which we teach you how to talk to other agents so they can, if they're open, look at our wonderful opportunity. On Tuesday, we have more Transaction Tuesday. Yesterday, by the way, we did an interview with Sean Kokoska. Many of you know who that is. If you missed the interview yesterday, make sure you jump on the Freedom Team feed in Workplace. We post it there with timestamps so you can see exactly what we covered and go right to that specific piece of the video. Every Tuesday, we have something to help our agents with just more transactions today. Wednesdays, at this exact same time, normally, we have Kim hosting just a basic class to help anyone that's needing help generally with more transactions. She takes conversations. It's not a big, well-attended thing. It's more private for anybody that shows up. Again, it's Wednesday at this same time slot. Thursday, I do a level 2 training for people that are actually consistently attracting agents, working to attract agents. I'll teach you exactly some of the nuances at the second level once you're actually in the hunt. And we want to remind everybody on Friday, you don't go to our link, you go to EXP World, because we have our leadership in our EXP auditorium every week on Friday. The last thing I want to highlight is the very top. Don't forget, Wednesday the 31st, 20 questions with Glenn Sanford. So with that said, let's transition to the topic for today. I'm super excited. I've known this gentleman the 4.5 years I've been here at EXP. I'm not going to say a lot about him in the beginning because I want him to actually open up for you his background. He does it in a very eloquent way. I want you to hear it directly from Brent himself. Here's what I'll say. No other person in the field has pulled this company together from the field perspective better than Brent Gove. Brent has, from the very beginning, adopted a concept that it's not his group, it's one group. It's one big fire. We are on a mission to 1 million agents over the next 10 years in 100 countries. And we're excited that Brent is one of the people well out in front leading the charge. I am going to say one last thing. We have an event coming up at the very end of August. Brent and I will talk about that, Build 2022. It's an event, if you're interested in agent attraction, you're not going to want to miss. If you're only interested, and it's perfectly okay, in just the transaction side of real estate, nothing wrong with that. About 90% of our agents don't do a lot of agent attraction. So if you're part of the 9 out of 10 that's looking for more meat about EXP, don't forget we have EXPCon coming up in the last quarter of the year. You don't want to miss that in October. Registration and the early bird starts now. So with that said, I'm going to bring my good friend Brent Gove out of California that's now living in Puerto Rico, because there's definitely a benefit when you make the kind of money that Brent makes to live in a place like Puerto Rico. With no further ado, Brent Gove from Puerto Rico. Brent, you there, buddy?
I'm here, Eric. Thanks. I hope you weren't worried. Yes, I am here. Good to see everybody. Thanks for having me here, Eric.
Man, you look good. How do you feel today? That's more important.
I feel great. My daughters flew in and got in about 1 a.m. this morning, and they're on California time zone. So it was like, I don't know, what is that, 10 at night for them? So we stayed up till 2 a.m. watching a movie and eating popcorn. I had a daughter on each side. They had the little heads on my shoulders. And I'm like, this is heaven. This is heaven on earth when you're cuddling your kids. Now they're big kids, they're 30 and 22, but it's still awesome. And so we stayed up till 2, so I'm a little tired. I literally just woke up, showered, shaved. I woke up at 10:45, Eric, 10:46. I'll wake up at 9 or 10. I've never done it. I freaked out, jumped out of bed, ran in the shower. So this is me, shower, shaved, and a cup of coffee. But I promise I won't let you down.
Well, it's not about letting us down. I mean, let me down. You know this. One of the things that happens within EXP is we work for everybody, right? Because we're a big company. We're at 83,000 plus agents at this point. And everything we do has the benefit to help all of our agents. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But we do have 20 questions. We've got less than an hour to cover them.
All right, let's do it.
You and I discussed. Let's go ahead and handle these. You can spend as little or as much time as you'd like. If I want you to go deeper, I'm definitely going to tell you, another question within the question. But let's start from the beginning, because I'm so impressed with not only the way you lead from the front today, but knowing a little bit about your background. I want everybody to hear. So question number 1, Mr. Gove, is this. Where are you from and what was life growing up?
I was born in San Diego, grew up in Chula Vista, border town. I grew up with mariachi bands playing football, soccer, and grew up on the beach, La Jolla, Mission Viejo, the Silver Strand, Coronado Island. Then at 10 in 1976, we relocated to Sacramento, California, where I've been for a long time. I don't know, 46 years. And so pretty much live in Northern California now, a suburb called, I moved out of Roseville recently into Lincoln. I'm in the foothills overlooking the valley, city lights. It's pretty cool. And then Puerto Rico. Did I mention I live in Puerto Rico the other half a year? Forgot about that part.
And you moved to Puerto Rico how long ago?
18 months ago. And I was like, never in the world where I lived there, but man, I love it. I couldn't wait to get back here about 10 days ago. I cannot wait. It's adjusted. I'm fully adjusted.
Very cool. Question number 2, during the time where you were growing up, did you have aspirations? You talked about, playing soccer or football. Do you want to be in the World Cup? You wanted to be an astronaut. What did you want to be when you grew up?
Well, that's an interesting question, Eric. I played little league soccer, football, basketball, tennis, ping pong, anything you could play and compete at, I did. My ended up falling into rugby and just was made for it because I'm 6'2", 200-pound guy back then. Today, I wish I was 200 pounds, but I'm headed there. Just lost 40 pounds, by the way. So I am going there. But thank you. I did really well in rugby. I ended up playing rugby in college, and I got to rugby my junior year in high school, but it was growing in Northern California and just had a blast. But as far as what I want to do with my life, I remember them asking me, what do you want to do for the rest of your life? You got to declare a major in college. Like, what does that mean? Well, you're going to major in the emphasis of study, then you're going to get a degree, then someone's going to hire you, and you're going to work 40 hours a week for the next 40 years. So you better like it, man. Don't just pick business. Pick something you like. Do you like art? Because you're going to do it for decades. A decade, you better pick art. And I'm like, oh, wow, what do I like? And I thought, do I like art? Nah, I mean, I like to look at it. It's pretty, but I'm not really an art creator. Do I like math? Oh, no, C- in algebra, English. Oh, no. Do I like, and I'm accounting? Do I want to be an automat? I could not figure out what it was. So finally I figured it out. I wanted to be free time. That was it. I think it was 19. I go, I want to houseboat in the summer. I want to snow ski. I want to have free time. That's what I want to have. And so I decided I wanted to be free time. So the career I chose that could give me that, I should have chosen to be a fireman, but I decided to teach, and I decided to study U.S. history and be a history major and be a high school history teacher and do all the sports coaching because I'm a big sports nut, and to have summers off. I had in my mind I'd have June, July, and August off. What career do you get 90 days off to fly fish the Yellowstone, go to the Grand Tetons, travel to Tahiti? Somehow in my mind at 19, all those things were available to me as a high school history teacher if I just got it. So that's what I chose to do, become a teacher.
So besides real estate, and we'll talk about that in a minute, the only other thing you did as a profession was teaching? Did you do anything else?
No, I dropped out of college my junior year for sales. You asked me what I was wanting to be. I told you I never did it. I started making $180,000 a year in college. And the professors with master's degrees were making 80, and I was making double with them. I'm like, what the heck am I wanting to be a teacher for? Apparently I'm a gifted salespeople. I love people. I'm not lazy, and I'm willing to do what it takes and suffer. And I'm like, man, I think I was born to be a salesman. And then and selling is the highest paid occupation in the world, because these are the people who love people. There's some bad seeds out there, but mainly salespeople add value. They love, they care, they give. And that's the kind of salesperson I am. And so I decided to do sales.
And at 180,000, and may I ask what you were selling in college?
Amway products. I was got an Amway when I was a dishwasher to put myself through college, and so I sold biodegradable soap.
And many of us did.
I loved it. It was fun. That's where I got to know about Zig Ziglar and Tony Robbins and Jim Rome and Dr. Dennis Waitley and all these amazing people. Says, have a great attitude, set goals. You could do more than you ever thought you could do. You could be more than you ever wanted to be, and be a possibility thinker, a life enhancer, not a low point, and all that stuff. And it's just part of who I am, the books I've read, the tapes I've listened to, all that stuff.
Question
and I know you did too.
No. Yeah, we definitely did a number of those, as you know.
Yes.
Number 4, what was the transition into real estate? It sounded like you had a successful career.
I did. I did that for 10 years till I was 29, 19 to 29. And then there was like a church split is the best way I could say it. There was a split that happened in Amway in our particular organization. And it was not good. It's like when the associate pastor leaves a 5,000 person church and says the senior pastor is a crook, it's just no bueno. There's just nothing good that's going to come from that. And so some church scandal or whatever, corporate scandal, you name it, but it was not good. And then the Camelot started coming down. And by the time I was 30, I was really needed to make some extra money. I think it was down to it started falling. It went down to like 60,000 a year, and I had a wife and 2 kids, and I'm traveling. I can't live on that. So I had to get my real estate license. I was so ashamed I had failed. And And it was ego, it's like, oh my God, are you kidding me? All my went to work for Remax. My business card said Brent. You ever seen a business card without a last name? I did not want people to know that I was in real estate. The sign, I get a listing, Brent, and a phone number. I've never seen that before or after. So I probably had a huge ego at that point in my life. And I was just ashamed that I didn't want my name like, oh God, I can't believe and there was nothing wrong with real estate. I was not ashamed of real estate. I was ashamed that I just had to do something different. And because I went down with the ship, the captain went down with the ship, and I rode it way too far past. And so I got into real estate. But I think by my third year, I made about $286,000. And I'm like, man, this isn't so bad. And people, it's fun to show homes, and they cried. They want to take their picture by the sold sign. They invite you back for a housewarming and a 4th of July party or New Year's Eve party. And I feel good. I like this. I got to feel good doing what I'm doing. And by my 4th year, I made $393,000, almost $400,000. It was $1999. I'm like, is this even legal? Like, is this legal? Because I'm working this hard compared to what I did in Amway. Amway, you want to know what's tough? Get an Amway. Go do that for a while. You're like, EXP is easy. You have no idea. You have no idea. And so maybe that's why I did well so quick, because like, oh my God, it's like shooting fish in a barrel. But if you've never done it, I get it. It's hard. It's tough. It's something new for you. If you don't play a lot of ping pong, you're like, oh, it's hard, but if you play ping pong every day for 30, 60 days, you're like, wow, you're gonna be on TV, doing those undercuts, overcuts, slams. And so that's what it is. People just don't swing the paddle enough, swing the club enough. And I had done it a lot. So it was like breathing for me. I'll say this, I'll give it back to you, Eric. People say, well, you were an overnight success at EXP. Well, okay. I was a 31-year overnight success, because I was 51. I'd already struggled for 31 years. So I was no overnight success. Mr. Gove paid a price for 31 years. I'm not saying it'll take you 31 years. I was in the wrong models, the wrong engines. And I found this. Go ahead, Eric.
Well, you said it was the wrong engines, the wrong models. The truth is, those models worked for you at those.
Oh no, I wasn't ragging on Amway. What I meant was the real estate, traditional real estate is what I meant. Amway was great. I was in the right idea there, but then the split thing, it wasn't good.
Look, this is a video. We're going to create a video. We're going to cut and edit it out of the video, so we can say anything we want about Amway. Here's the truth.
Right. But no. My experience with Amway was incredible. Everyone I ever met there who really put their heart into it prospered in other areas of their life, and some of them are still there doing well. It's all good.
As we know. Now, you talked about Remax for a while. Can you talk about the pinnacle of your Remax and then the transition to Keller?
Yep. So I got into Remax, and I applied that work ethic that I learned from Amway. And I started doing open houses Saturday, Sunday, and I would, start them at 9 or 10 in the morning and go till 6, 7, 8 at night. And people just don't do that. They do a 2-hour open house. Oh my God, I was out there from 2 to 4, was exhausted. How many signs you put out? 5. Anyone come? No, I broke a nail. I got a red light. I got a ticket for put my sign in the wrong place. Today I did 3 hours. I mean, that's what children do at Taco Bell when they get their first job. They work 2 and 3 and 4 hour shifts. You are a grown man. You're a grown woman. I would get out there at 10 in the morning and cast my nets and put out 30 signs. That's a bit obnoxious. Well, I'd have 100 people at my open houses, and I'm swinging the bat 100 times on Saturday and 100 times on Sunday. And I got really good. It's actually my superpower. My superpower is open houses. I would go anywhere in America. Well, they don't work in Colorado. They don't work in Portland. Oh yeah. Let me parachute into your sign and put out 100 signs, and I'll work from 8 in the morning till midnight, Saturdays and Sundays, for 2 or 3 months, and I'll be so busy. I'll have so many clients that I'll have goals like selling 30 homes in 30 days. to hell with 30 homes a year. And the reason we think so small is proximity is power. You ain't hanging out with people who think big. And so you can't sell 30 homes if you have 3 clients. But if you have 90, well, how do you get 90? I just told you how to get 90 clients. And you got to put free list of area homes on the sign instead of Coldwell Banker or Remax or EXP. Take that. Nobody goes to the open house because it says Compass, because it says Center to Win. Get that stuff off your sign. Get it off your sign. Open house signs. Open house, free list of area homes, arrow. They show up for the free list of area homes. They might go, oh, there's an open house here in Tahoe, in San Diego, in Dallas, in San Antonio, in West Palm Beach, in Fort Lauderdale, in Seattle. They may drive by, they pull up, oh, it's 2-story, I have a bad knee. They drive away. You ever see them drive up, drive away, drive up, drive away? Well, guess what? Oh, it's English Tutor. I hate English Tutor. Personally, I don't like English Tutor. Oh, it's super modern looking. It's real boxy. I don't like that. Neither do I. I drive away too, but oh, that guy's got a free list of area homes. Let's go in and get the list because we like the area, the magic. And I'll stop because I'm doing a training on open houses right now. But that is my superpower. I could parachute into any market and absolutely freaking rip the cover off the ball because, man, I can't wait. And yes, I had some open houses that sucked and didn't turn out. I put out 30 signs and I didn't have 100 people, but usually I did. I mean, a bad turnout was 50 to 100. Then I'm like, well, I don't know how to convert them because you have 3 people come in 3 hours because you put out 5 signs and it said Coldwell Banker or EXP. So I'll stop. There was a little mini open house training there. I apologize, but man, I want you to succeed in the shifting market and it's going to take massive action. And guess what? By the way, Monday through Friday, I was at the zoo. I was at the museum. I was at Apple Hill in the pumpkin patch. I was the only dad there because I took my free time Monday through Friday. On the weekend, I was a weekend warrior. I went out and got the clients. Yes, I showed property, but I was able to work it around what I was doing. So, okay, go ahead, Eric.
Well, no, you referenced that it's your superpower, but can't it honestly be anyone? Could not open houses become anyone's superpower?
Totally. You got to do the work. And you're like, well, I can't convert like that. I didn't either. I was terrible. If I could say I sucked at first. I literally chased people to the car. They're like, go Wilma, hit it. They burn rubber out of the court. I'm trying to, hey, let me get your name and number. Can I help you? I hated that feeling. I hated it. And then I learned how to say things that were so compelling. I remember my record was, it was a rainy day, 40-mile-an-hour rains. I stopped by Cragen's Auto Supply and bought bungee cords because my signs would just blow away. And I bungee corded them to every telephone pole and tree because they weren't going to stay in the ground. And I brought a change of clothing, like completely, and a giant towel. And I toweled off, redid my hair, changed. It was raining cats and dogs, 40-mile-an-hour winds. And in 3.5 hours, I got about 50 people through that open house. 37 of them gave me their private social security numbers. So I don't know what you collect at open houses, but I collect social security numbers. Every one of them was accurate. Not one of them was made up. So what was I saying that was so compelling? Well, if you go to brentgove.com, click on real estate, click on buyers and watch the open house training. I did a 90-minute training on this. I can tell you, I can't tell you now, but I'll tell you this. Nobody taught me that. I learned how to do it. And then through massive failure. So at first you suck, then you're okay, then you're kind of okay, then you're kind of good, then you're good, then you're better than good, then you're almost borderlining great, then you're great, but you get there through failure. And most of you just refuse to fail, man. You got to turn it up and embrace failure. Like freaking go, you know what? I eat failure for breakfast. And it's like snow skiing. You fall, you fall, you fall. But if you skied with me in Taos, New Mexico, every day for 30 days. The worst of you, if you're brand new, you would be an awesome skier in 30 days with a little instructor. You'd be great. You just don't ski enough. And so you got to get to the bat, swing and swing and swing and swing and swing again, hit the ball. You will eventually hit the ball, especially if there's a coach there that teach you how to stick, you pry the ball, follow through. And so that's all this is. Eric is not a genius. I'm not a genius. Tim Hollidan is not a genius. Sean Sturrock, Jay Nelson, Jackie Brown, you guys, Jeff Morrell, I see you guys there. I'm looking at you, Kathy Carter. We are not geniuses. We're out there swinging the bat because it's about our kids. This is not about a car or a house. It is about your kids and it's about your freedom. And so I don't know what all that was about. I can't remember the question, but back to you, Eric.
Well, I'm glad we get 4 hours of sleep. I can only imagine if you had 6 hours the way this would go this morning. Your move to EXP.
Out of coffee.
Oh, no, we're good. We're good. your move to EXP was unanticipated by you. Can you briefly tell us, your progression? Here's the 3 steps: how you were contacted, what you were thinking when you were watching this presentation, and then what, if anything, would have held you back?
Okay, so I spent 13 years at Remax and really liked it. And then I spent 9, and then in 09 in the shift, when things were hard, I left the broker that I loved, the office location that I loved, and my friends at the office for Keller Williams. I knew I needed a change. By the way, we're here now. All people say, well, I love my broker, I love my office, love my friends, I just can't do it. They're going to switch because pain is on the menu. And the coming market is going to discipline those agents that can't discipline themselves. You either discipline yourself to do the hard work, or you will blow out of real estate. You will get a job. How about this? You tell yourself what to do, when to do it, how to do it, and do it. Or you're going to go get a job and someone's going to tell you what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. And you're going to work for them. You either build your dreams and goals in your family's future, or someone's going to hire you to build theirs. End of story. And you're not building anything. Well, it's tough. It's hard. Everything amazing is tough and hard. People who homesteaded in Oklahoma, they called them the Sooners. You know the stories. Some of them cheated and left. They got there sooner. They got the name, the Oklahoma Sooners, and they claimed their land. It was just a piece of land. Then they had to till the land and put up fences and livestock and build a hand from their barrels and haul logs. And it was hard work. But man, come on, man, you're pioneering something. Well, it's kind of hard. We're so soft, right? We're so soft. And I don't like to be there, but you got to. The key is struggle. Embrace the winds of change. Harness them in your sail like a windsurfer. If it's not blowing, the boat doesn't move. Now is the time. The next 2-3 years, we're going to see a massive shift. Remax exploded in the 90s. The huge, every home I sold when I got into real estate in the 90s was $500. You had a job at $500, you could buy a 3,000 square foot home with a pool and a 3-car garage and plantation shutters and blah, blah, blah. And all this. Oh, by the way, I got to show you this. My new piece of art. It's called Blue. Man, I love that thing. It's expensive too. Ow, I'm burning my hand. All right. So,
your move was unanticipated. I'll bring you back to task.
Move was unanticipated.
Your move was unanticipated. Can you talk briefly about the contact you had, what you thought when you saw it, and what was going to stop you?
I will, but I just remember what I was going to say. I'm going to finish it. It's good. So Remax exploded in the 90s when you could buy a home for $500. Market, I mean, any home in California, pool, whatever, $500, unbelievable. And they were like 100 grand. In the next correction, which started in 05 in California, 07, 08, the rest of the nation, Keller Williams exploded. Obvious choice was Remax in the 90s. Obvious choice was Keller Williams. We are the obvious choice for this correction. You're going to watch our company go $250,000 just like that in the next 24 months. So get ready. Back to your question, Eric. I liked Remax. I loved Keller Williams. They told me, oh, Keller Williams will destroy you. They have all that training. They're for new agents. You're a veteran. You sell hundreds of homes a year. It's embarrassing. How could you go to that kitty company that just focuses on new agents? And what an embarrassment. They'll destroy your career. And I've been to their training. It's pretty good, actually. And of course, I went and stayed 9 years. I liked Remax. I loved Keller Williams. Like it was like turn that light switch off over here, night and day, like no comparison. It's way better company than Remax. At least that's my opinion. I mean, it wasn't even close. Why I went to Remax? Maybe the Remax you went to was a dud. But here's the deal. So I'm in love with Keller Williams. I'm never leaving it. I will retire at Keller Williams. I'll spend the next 20 years selling real estate because there is no exit strategy. You just work your butt off forever. And I will work into my 60s, probably my 70s. And I'm good with it because I love people in real estate. I don't hate what I do. Enter EXP 5 years ago. Sheila Fairjohn, my sponsor, calls me and she goes, hey, I want you to take a look at EXP. Give me your opinion. I really respect you. It's a great line, everybody, to use for people. I want you to take a look at EXP. Give me your opinion. I really respect you. And for people, if you're cold calling, good luck. I never cold called. I would not recommend cold calling. It's a blood sport. Find a way to get to know people, add value, invite them to trainings if you don't know them. But anyway, so I really respect you. I love your opinion. I'm sure you've heard about it, but man, it's changed so much. It's become a multi-billion-dollar company, agent owned. Can I meet with you? Nope, I'm too damn busy for that. Okay, that happened to me too. So like, oh no, they told me they're too darn busy. It happened to me too 5 years ago. That's not like, it's not working. No, that's what happened to me. And then I showed it to someone every day, about 30 times a month, right? And only 5 would sign up. 25 told me no. 25 said, you're crazy. 25 said, I don't have time for this pyramid thing. 25 we just had a baby. We just got divorced. I'm getting divorced. I just got married. We're going to get married. Whatever their excuses are or reasons are. Some of them are valid. I'm going through cancer. I'm having an open heart. I'm having a kidney transplant. I mean, I'm not saying they're all, but here's the deal. I didn't wait for them. I loved them. I didn't say, well, I didn't back my truck up. I don't own a truck, but I didn't back up my truck on their front yard and hit the tires and give them a lawn job. I'm like, burn in hell. You're not, no. I said, hey, if I can help you, if you write an offer on an EXP listing, you call me. Chances are I'm going to know Kim Herrera. I'm going to know Mark Cairns. I'm going to know Kathy Carter. I'm going to know Brian Decker. And I'm going to call Brian and say, Eric Golden is a salt of the earth human being. And I promise you this, when I talked to Paula Piskey and Jeff Morrell and Kelly Festerling about your offer, Festerling, sorry, Kelly, I'm going to get your offer accepted. I'm going to fight. I'm going to ask Kelly, do you know the offers? No, I got an offer from a C21 agent, an independent, and a Keller Williams agent. Do you know him? No. I go, well, I know Eric Golden, and he's absolutely the most incredible human being. I promise you, you get an escrow with Eric, you're going to be happy. I'm going to fight for you, Eric. Try me. Okay, yeah. I go, Eric, seriously, I'm not joking here. You better text me. And I threaten them. And then a little bit, I'm kind of strong. I go, okay, I'm sorry you don't like EXP. Bye. I don't end like that. And they're like, okay. And guess what? They text me, hey, I'm going to write an offer to Tim Hollenden or to Kim Herrera. And I said, awesome. I totally know Kim. I totally know Tim. I know Jeff Morrell. I know Jackie Brown. I'm calling Jackie right now. Jackie, how many are? Okay, I call her back. Okay, Jackie has 2 offers. She doesn't know him. And Eric, Stefan, Kelly, I told him about you, how amazing you are. I asked him to give you preferential treatment. I asked him to tell you what it's going to take to win. And so I'm giving you a softball and like, but Brent, I'm not coming to EXP. Hey, you're a human being. I'm a human being. We help each other. You could stay at Coldwell Banker or Berkshire Hathaway for the next 20 years. I'm going to help you. Next time, call me again, but I'm going to help you get your deal accepted. Hopefully I've moved you to the front of the line. I did that with every single person. Is that how you do it? I didn't start that way because I wasn't very good, and then I got better. But let me tell you, that is a positive way. And then I only tried to sponsor people for 5 months, and I sponsored 25 people. And the next 5 months, 15 more said, we're ready. I know 6 months ago, 8 months ago, 9 months ago, 10 months ago, I said, no, but I'm ready. Sign them up. I sponsored 40 in 10 months. I was the first person in the history of the company to do 40. So I created momentum. Massive action creates results. You hear it all the time, but you're numb to it. You got, well, you got to be everything in moderation. To hell with moderation. Moderation got you where that's why you're in the position you're in. You got to get a little extreme. You got to get radical. And so you want things to be different. You better do totally different things, not just moderately different things. You better get extreme, Navy SEAL, Green Beret, extreme. And so there you go. I forgot where I was going, but when I saw the model, it was life-changing. I mean, just instantly got it. Instantly. I moved my team of 18 agents over within 2 weeks. I completely, I set aside 3 hours every Friday, 2 to 5 to call agents that I knew. And I had appointments one a day, coffee Monday morning at 7:30, breakfast Tuesday morning at 9, lunch Wednesday at noon, early dinner at 4:30 or 5 on Thursday. Fridays I golfed, and then I might do a breakfast appointment at 7 and then a coffee at 10 on Saturday. But then I did real estate all the other time. All I did was recruiting. All I did was real estate. 90% of what I did was real estate. And I love real estate. And I recruited this, but let me tell you this. I'll end with this. I'll give it back to you, Eric. Listen to me. During the 5 months where I sponsored 25 people because I put in massive action, you go show it 30 times in the next 30 days. Well, everyone's heard of it. The enemy is the enemy. Get that out of your dang mind. I went to Keller Williams after 9 years of hearing it. So what? Everyone's heard it. It's good. Don't confuse that. Show it 30 times in the next 30 days. You'll sponsor 5 like me. And at the end of 5 months, you'll sponsor 25 like me. And then you're done. I haven't even tried to do it. They just come to me. Every year I sign up 20, every year without trying. I planted so many seeds. It's like snow skiing every day for 30 days. So I'll end with this. In that 5-month period, I listed 25 homes. What I get paid today for that is nothing. What I get paid for the 25 agents I listed is millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars a year. It's incredible. And so, man, play the long game. The short game, well, I'm just going to focus on my sales. That's great. If you have bills to pay, you should. Turn off Netflix, turn off Hulu and Amazon, go work 18 hours a day, 7 days a week until you can feed your children. Why should take a day off? If you can't feed your children, do not take a day off. I mean, if you literally can't feed your kids, what do you take a day off? You can't feed your kids. Work 7 days a week for 2-3 weeks and then go back to 6 days a week. And when you can, go to 5 days a week. Real estate will expand all the time you give it. It's a little monster. So put it in a box. Okay, back to you, Eric.
I love, you don't have to come back to me. I'm enjoying listening to you, but thanks for coming back to me. Your transition here, you had a group, you had pendings. We hear this all the time. I love EXP, but I've got so much going on right now. There's a problem with people thinking that the transition is something that they can't do. Can you handle the question, I love EXP, I'd really like to come, but I just don't feel good about the transition?
Right. So you're talking about not EXP agents trying to transition agent attraction. You're talking about agents at other companies coming to EXP. Is that what you're talking about?
They're like, oh, I really like the model. I can get past.
I love this. This is great.
But I got things going on, and how do I move?
I love it. Don't stay at Coldwell Banker for the next 30 years. Don't. Here's your situation. You're busy. You leaving Berkshire Hathaway, Compass, Sotheby's. We're going to put that on the bookshelf right here. I literally do this in front of them on a Zoom. You're not leaving your company. In fact, I forbid you to leave, Kathy Carter. You cannot leave Compass, but I do want you to learn about a model. So forget this idea about moving, because I can see, Stefan Crothers, that it's kind of stressing you out. The idea of moving, you got all these escrows. You've explained to me how busy you are. So let's just table that. That ain't happening. But Tim, Mark, Brian, Decker, will you make a commitment to me to stay in curiosity about the model? I kind of slow it down. Kelly, will you make a commitment to me to stay in curiosity about the EXP model? Can you at least make that commitment? Then don't say another word. And you know what they say every single time? Sure. I said, awesome. That's all we're doing here. So what I do is have a few meetings with you, share some information with you. And if anything else, I'm going to add value and help you sell more homes. I'm going to turn you on some lead generation tricks and tips and stuff. And you can tell them about KV Core. Like, I don't know what to say. Tell them about KV Core. Okay, done. You've done your job. But so I get them to relax. So it's like this. People would say to me, Eric, they'd say, well, I'm not ready to buy a house till next January. And this is July. I'm like, are you crazy? Interest rates may go up another 0.5%. If the market goes up another 5%, that's $1 million home. It'll cost you $50,000 and you're paying more, $50,000 more for the house, and 0.5% with the jumbo loan is going to be $60,000 in interest on the life of that loan. And so you had $60,000 interest and $50,000 more you're paying for. It's $110,000. The biggest mistake of your life is wait until next January. That all sounds good. It actually sounds like a logical argument. It's actually all accurate in a growing market. Nothing was wrong, except for you're telling them they're stupid. What I do is I get along next to them, put my arm around and say, no problem. You are not buying a home till next January. But what I want to do with you, Kelly Fasterling, is I want to show you 2 or 3 homes in the $1 million price range and kind of get your feet wet, kind of introduce you to the market. That way, next January or 2 years from now, when you're ready to buy, when it's comfortable for you, you'll be more educated on the market. It takes maybe 10 minutes a house. So do you have about 20 minutes this weekend for me to pop you into 2 houses? Use the word pop. I'm going to pop you into 2 houses, that, or whatever word you like to use. That's how I talk. And I say, I'm going to pop you into just a couple houses. We're going to get your feet wet. Write that down. You guys taking notes? It's a beautiful thing. We're just going to get your feet wet. Write this down. We're going to introduce you to the market. You're going to be a more educated consumer and make a smarter purchase next January or 1 year from now, a year from now, when you're ready to buy next July. I don't argue with them. No problem. No problem. Just going to show you 2 or 3 of the best homes money can buy. So you can get, what? Listen to me. I would take them out and look. They buy a home every single time the first time we go out. I sell a home. My expectation, if I'm showing property, I'm writing an offer and selling the house. Your expectation, I'm going to look at property with them for half a year, and then they're going to buy new construction. I'm not going to get paid. That's your expectation. And that is possible. But if they don't buy the first time, they better buy the second time. If they don't buy the second time, we better have written an offer, because I'm showing them exactly what they want and the price range they want. There's no reason not to make offers here. And so if they wrote an offer and we got beat because someone came in cash, okay, they qualify for a third time. But if we go out once or twice and they don't buy and I'm showing them beautiful stuff and they're not even pulling the trigger, my red flag is way up. And I go, hey, Eric Golden, I got a referral for you. I never referred it to EXP agents. I always referred to agents I wanted to recruit. They were from other companies. Never, ever call Eric and say, do you know an EXP agent in Nashville? Do you know an EXP agent in San Antonio? Why would you give a referral to an EXP agent? Are you going to sponsor them? They're already in. I would find the best agent. You have a fiduciary to your client. When I was at Remax, I did not refer Remax agents. When I was at Keller Williams, I did not refer Keller Williams agents. I'm EXP. I'm not going to refer EXP agents. Is your fiduciary to the other agents at EXP in Glen Sanford, or is it to your client? So do your due diligence, Google San Antonio, interview 10, 15, 20, 30. I don't know agents. You now are going to know 10, 20, 30. You have to tell them you're talking to 30. Talk to 100. You can talk to 100 agents. I have a referral for you. My client wants me to do some research, find out. They're ultimately going to pick. I would love to pick you, but are you interested in a referral? They're buying 500,000 to 600,000. I would just like a 20% referral fee, drop it 5%. You'll sound really cool to them. I'll just take a 20% referral fee, but I got an interview. Would you be? Oh, yes. Well, my client wanted me to do some research. So I have my notes here, and I'm gonna take a few notes on you. Can you tell me how long you've been in real estate? How many homes do you sell a year? And get to know them. Oh, wow, that's great. And are you? And then you could get to know 100 agents. One referral, or you could call me or Golden or call a broker and find out who's smoking in South Carolina. That will not grow your business. So never, ever. I partner with a commercial agent who's not an EXP. Give them leads until you can bring them over to EXP. So that's how I handle referrals. I think I got off track with the referral thing.
You're all good. You're all good. And it's content is content. Bottom line is, when we have someone like you here, it's funny because EXP is so well known as the recruiting company. You know, Keller Williams has been doing it since '83, but we're known as the recruiting company. What's interesting is only about 10% of us really even focus at all on recruiting. 90% of us come here because it's a better place to transact, and it's a better place to revitalize our career. And the bottom line is, that's what agents tell us all the time. You hear it all the time. When I went to EXP, it was like a breath of fresh air. It feels like a brand new career, a new locker room. We get a chance for the Super Bowl. Can you explain that feeling that we hear all the time, that maybe an agent that isn't with EXP would like to know? What does it mean to revitalize a career? You've been through it. You've done it a few times.
Right. So I think Keller Williams, Remax was known as a recruiting company because that's how they grew so fast. Then Keller Williams was absolutely known. Oh God, the Keller Williams Kool-Aid, don't drink the Kool-Aid. They're just a bunch of recruiters. It's a pyramid. When I was at Remax and a star at Remax, everybody talked about Keller Williams. Oh my gosh, it's just a pyramid. Yeah, that's what they would say about it. They called Keller Williams a pyramid. And what it is you get negative, crotchety, old, grumpy, burned out, exhausted agents. They don't even know they're exhausted. They're like, oh my God, I got called from 3 Keller Williams agents this year. Every time I talk to one, they're like, hey, you want to check out Keller Williams? And so everyone who's growing, people take shots at them. Microsoft went through it. Google went through it, Facebook, Intel, Uber, they take shots. We're going, it just, it comes with the course. But so we also are known as that because we are the deal. We're the deal. And then the sales managers in the front, oh my God, they're just recruiting. It's a pyramid. They say every horrible thing. And so their rank and file, here's that. Oh, it's just a pyramid. It's recruiting. But you got to get through that. You got to get that. It's actually agent owned. They actually share revenues with all the agents. It's a multi-billion-dollar company sharing revenues, owned by the agents, created by agents for the agents. And so, I heard that 5 years ago. It didn't stop me from showing the modelexplain.com or however, whatever it is you like to explain EXP with. I use the modelexplain.com. The one I created is for everybody. It says, get back to person and give you this video. They don't call me. People, you said 20 people a year call you. Yep. People I have personally called. I don't hear from strangers. You would think I would. I don't. And so, but I showed it 30 times a day. If you're in your head, you're dead. Everyone's already to EXP. Show it 30 times in the next 30 days. Prove me wrong. The reason you're not sponsor 5 in the last 30 days is you showed it once or twice, maybe 3 times. No, I did it 7 times. Okay, then you might get 1. It's 5 out of 30, right? It's 1 out of 6. 6 times 5 is 30. It's 1 out of 6 is way, but that's when you're on a roll. Well, I did it 6 and I didn't get 1. You're not on a roll. You got to get on a roll. Then everything you touch, you get the momentum. You talk to people. You expect them to get in. You get what you expect. You go to listing appointments, you don't get it because you didn't think you'd really get it. I'm going to get it. I'm listening to music. I'm praying to God. I'm preparing my soul. I'm visualizing the entire listing presentation before I even get there. They smiled. They're going to ask me to the dining room table to tell them what their home's worth. I'm going to politely decline and say, how could I possibly tell you what your home worth if I haven't seen it? So I'd go see the home, which is true. But while I'm looking at the home, I'm building rapport with them. I'm making them feel comfortable with me because people do business with people they are comfortable with. Oh, I like that gal. I like Kelly. I like Evalie. I like Ashley and Jay. I like Sean Sturrock. I'm comfortable with that guy. They do business. So that's the purpose of that. But I already played the game before the game was ever played. I learned that my junior year in high school in soccer, as we're playing the championship game. My coach, Gary Summerhays, and his kids playing the PGA. If you ever see Summerhays out there playing, those are his kids. He taught us all the championship game. Everybody lay on the ground. It's where the stadium lights are out. It's dark. We're in a dark corner and we're laying down flat. Close your eyes. Okay, if you're a striker, picture yourself trapping the ball. The ball comes across, trap the ball, turn and fire on goal. Do some give and goes. If you're a midfielder, turn, pass left, run down. If you're a defender, see the ball coming in, clear it out of the middle off your forehead. If you're a goalkeeper, I want you to see yourself flying across the goal, catching that ball or punching it over the goal post. Everybody played the game before we ever played the game. We were children. And he taught me this. Are you playing the game before you ever play the game? Like, well, I want to be realistic. You get what you expect. You get what you tolerate. I won't tolerate a bad marriage. We have marriage counseling sessions every single week. I've been married 31 years. We had marriage counseling yesterday for an hour. I do it every week. Well, my gosh, haven't you figured it out yet? If Michael Phelps can have a stroke coach and Tiger Woods could have a mental coach and some of the greatest golfers in the world, Cam, who just won the St. Andrews and the Open, they have fitness coaches, they have nutrition coaches, and these are the best in the world. Oh, I think I could have a marriage coach at 31 years in. I'm constantly learning new things. Last week, I told my wife, we've been with this particular marriage counselor for 3 years. I go, that was the best session we have ever had. I was so excited. And it really helped me get something that I hadn't gotten in 31 years. So if you think you're all that in a bag of chips, that you've arrived, you're done. Grow financially, grow physically, your fitness, your faith, man. Grow in your faith. Get a coach for your faith. Get a coach for your fitness. Get a coach for your family. Get a coach for your finances. The major areas of your life. Don't be like, I'm great at business, but I got divorced. I'm great at business, but I weigh 300 pounds, which was me, right? And like, you can't, wheels don't roll. Like, what's wrong? You're ignoring it. And like, well, it's hard to do it all. Yes. And it's the pressure that makes the diamond. It's the struggle and rising from the ashes. When I got into EXP, I was hundreds of thousands of dollars in tax debt. I had no money, even though I was a successful agent. I was hundreds of thousands of dollars in it with the IRS at 50%. I was digging and for years and years and years and years and years and years from the 2005 to 11 debacle. I created a huge tax debt. My need was great. And I didn't have money to buy someone a ticket to build or a hotel room. So I borrowed $100,000. Line of credit? No, hard money, 10% in 3 months. That's a 40% charge annually. That's the money I borrowed. And I did pay it back 3 months later, but I'm going to take my eye off the ball. And guess what I was able to do? Buy airline tickets, flights, event tickets, rooms, because I invested in myself. And guess what? We have 18-year-olds who just graduated from high school. My son is one of them, and they're going off to college next year. The average cost of a college education is $40,000 a year. You got kids with acne investing $40,000 into themselves through a college education so they can have a brighter future. Are you investing $40,000? You should. I have always said, what do I have to do to get you to this event? I'll split your flight with you. I'll split the hotel room with you. Instead of $180.99, it'll be $90 a night, 3 nights, man. It's nothing. Come on, let's go. And I know you just can't take no for an answer. This business belongs to the biggest promoters. You know who gets the biggest bounce? The people have the most people at shareholders. Oh, I didn't even go. If you didn't go to shareholders, now it was Father's Day, and I didn't show up till after Father's Day because I have priorities. I was at Father's Day, and that was a slip on EXP's part. Mitch Robinson didn't know it was Father's Day weekend when he booked it. I forgive Mitch, had nothing to do with Glenn, nothing to do with anything. And they signed a multi-million-dollar contract, and we were stuck. And yes, it wasn't right. Should have never happened on Father's Day. And I apologize to all of you on behalf of EXP for that event happening on Father's Day. Or can you imagine if it was Mother's Day? We really would have been in trouble. But so here's the deal. You may have missed shareholders, or you showed up and you brought 2 or 3 people. You whiffed. Show up with 20. Sponsor 10, bring 10 guests. Whiteboard it out behind you. 10, 20, 50, 30 people you're bringing. Event ticket, hotel, flight, event ticket, because you get them the event ticket. You might get them a hotel room. They got a hotel room, but they didn't get their flight. And oh my God, the flight's $1,200 round trip. For my wife and I, it's $2,400. Is it their fault? No, it is your fault. It's your fault. Take responsibility. Get intense. And don't think Steve Jobs wasn't intense. Richard Branson wasn't intense. Elon Musk slept in his manufacturing plant during COVID on a cot. He's intense. Bill Gates was intense. Steve Jobs was intense. Jeffrey Bezos was intense. Get intense. This is your life we're talking about. So you could have monies and mansions and jets? No. So you can make a difference, experience freedom. You can give your kids a better future than you had. You can have some self-respect because you did what it took, or you can make excuses. So you could bootstrap it. You could struggle, grit, grind, fight, scratch, claw. I love those words, because none of them required a college degree, a master's degree, or a PhD. I dropped out of college. I learned a long time ago, and I've always made way more than people with educations and jobs for the most part. 99% of them, you know what I mean? That part can be solved if you kick in massive ad value, and realize you're building the love boat. Do your clients know you love them? Do they? Do your agents that you sponsor, the ones you're trying to attract, do they know you love them? Have you prayed for them in the car or that morning, or as the weeks you're trying to recruit them over weeks and months? Do you pray for them? Do they know you love them, that you really care? I prayed before I got on this thing. God help me. I just woke up, but no help. I always say, give me the right words. Anyways, back to you, Eric.
You reference words you often: belief, trust, action, faith. We have an event coming up that you're hosting in just a few weeks. Some people are not fully aware of what that event is. So use the next 2 minutes as a promotion of what you are bringing together in August in Dallas.
Sure. So we're doing our annual Build conference. It started 4 years ago on accident. I went to go golfing in Scottsdale. You got to hear how this thing gets started. I was in Scottsdale. It was Rob Flick, Gene Frederick, myself, I think Scott Lewis, or James Stroop. It was me, James, Rob, and Gene. And then Scott Lewis heard about it. He goes, hey, can I show up with some of my boys, Pat Hayes and da-da-da. And then some of the ladies heard about, well, we want to come too. I'm like, well, yeah, come. You can all come. We'll get 3 foursomes and then 4 foursomes. And then we said, well, let's meet in 3 weeks in Scottsdale. So with 3 weeks planning, 4 of us are going to go golf. We're just going to golf. We're going to swim. We're going to golf. We're going to go out to dinner at Roy's Hawaiian Fusion Steakhouse. We're going to enjoy the Marriott Desert Ridge. Always go to a nice location. Venues are everything. And it was a beautiful venue, and people heard about it. It just grew and grew and grew. 3 weeks later, 88 people showed up to go golfing. The non-golfers went to the spa. We met in the pool in the afternoons. We swam, we laughed, we talked. There's big fire pits. We sat around the fire pits and had a soda water or a glass of wine or maybe an adult beverage. And some of the guys smoked cigars. I don't smoke cigars. I love them, but I love the smell of them, but I cough. I can't. How do you not inhale? I just can't do it. I'm like Bill Clinton. I didn't inhale. I inhale. Unlike Bill Clinton, I keep inhaling. But I love being. But anyways, we just want to be around each other. Proximity is power. 88. We call it our first accidental event. And guess what we did? We said, well, we got 88 people here. I'm going to get a room and let's do it in the afternoon, that dead time, like 3 to 6. We want to play all morning, golf, go to the spa, hit the pool all day. About 2:33, you're kind of done with the pool. Go home, shower, let's meet. Let's just, I don't know, talk about EXP, how we do this thing. That was our first event. And it was very magical, shall we say. It was so much fun. We go, let's do it again next April. It was about that casual. So we did it again. 400 people showed up. We go, oh my gosh, people like this. It was 400 people. It was kind of exciting. Let's do it again next year, but let's move it to Las Vegas to the Red Rock. It's not on the Strip. It's very nice. It's like the JW Marriott, very first class. And we moved to Red Rock. 1,200 people showed up. We're like, oh my gosh, we got some momentum here. Let's do it again next year. COVID hit. We canceled it. And then the following year, nobody's doing meetings. Nobody. Like they won't allow it. There's only 2 states that would allow it, Texas and Florida. And thank God we had booked the Gaylord Resort in Dallas, Texas. I'm like, we're going to do it. We were the first major company, and it wasn't really, EXP didn't do it. It was just Gene Frederick and myself and Rob Fleck. We go, let's do it. And we pushed forward during COVID when everybody's wearing masks and gloves and acting ridiculous. I mean, people get on Zooms wearing masks. Thank God. Look, nobody's on a down. Like you're alone in a room on a Zoom and you're wearing a mask. Oh my God. Ooh, you may have a hard time agent attracting. Anyways, or driving down the road alone wearing a mask. Those are the ones I'm like, who are you protecting? Anyway, so long story short, we did 5,000 people last summer during COVID, shoulder to shoulder. And I'm proud to say that I helped America build up its immunity to COVID-19. We had 200-300 people get COVID. We're moving on with our life. We're not going to let COVID change our life or the government. And if people had diabetes or asthma and compromised immune systems, I said, please don't come. Stay home. You guys need to stay home and do what you got to do to protect yourself. But the rest of us with healthy immune systems, we're going and we might get COVID and we will overcome it. And you can't just say, I might get electrocuted mowing the lawn, therefore I'm not going to mow the lawn. Because I saw on CNN, a guy was mowing the lawn, a power wire fell on him and he got electrocuted. True story. Well, yes, people die from COVID. So you got to look at that. You look at what the percentage, anyways, I digress, but I'm like, we freaking did this thing. It was a home run. Tony Robbins came, everyone came. So we're doing it again this summer. The who's who of EXP is going to be there. Glenn Sanford, Jason Gesson, the entire board, Michael Valdez, David Cordet, and all the ballers. This is where you want to be. And it is going to be a life-changing thing. But the key thing I will say, Eric, as we wrap this up, it's not about you coming like, okay, I'm going to be there. You're completely missing it. If you show up, you have epically failed. I mean, it's great. I'm glad you're there. You got to show up with 5 or 10 or 15 or 20, or don't let me limit. I brought 19 to my first event. 14, these are frontline agents, not in your group. Oh, I have 5 here. No, that you have sponsored. They say Kim Herrera is my sponsor. Mark Cairns is my sponsor. Kelly's my sponsor. Right? Ron and Tencio is my sponsor. So you have maybe 4 or 5 of those. Then maybe you have 4 or 5 guest people you're thinking about sponsoring. I was brought to San Antonio. It's not with EXP. Sheila wanted to my sponsor. She says, what a better place to come check us out. Made sense to me. There were 500 people there. We're going to have 5,000. I was impressed with the 500. I didn't need Venus Williams. I didn't need Mario. I didn't need Shin Lim. I didn't need a night at the UA movie theaters, and I'm begging EXP to take all that out of their events and to lower the price to $299 a ticket, not $800 a ticket. I'm on them. Don't worry. It's too late for EXP comp, but for shareholders, I'm all over them. My events are $299 and then $497. 800's double, and I'm bringing in Tony Robbins. So they're entertaining us. We don't need to be entertained. With those 500 agents, there were no movie stars, celebrities, professional athletes, or entertainment when I was there. And it rocked my world. I met Jason Gesson. I met Glenn Sanford. I met brokers from states and agents. That's the magic. The people sponsor the people. So I want to say this, come to Build and get yourself a ticket. And who gets the biggest bounce off that event are people who bring people that takes that, because it does the heavy lifting for you. Major decisions are made at major events. It takes that 12-inch drop from your head to your heart. So I brought 19 and had 5 legs explode. If I had brought 5, I'd have 1 explode. Some of you have got 1 leg exploded because you keep bringing 5 to the events. You need to whiteboard it out and go, there is time for you to bring 19. If you decide, I can't do it, then you probably can't. I might be able to do it. Then you probably can. The enemy is the enemy. It isn't me. It's not Eric Golden. It's not Sean Sturrock. It's not Jay Nelson. The enemy is the enemy. It is you saying, I can't do this. And like a parent, I'm saying, yes, you can, son. Yes, you can, daughter. But dad, the boys don't love me. It's okay. You'll get through this. You're going to meet the man of your dreams. And I'm telling you, you can do this, but you're so busy kicking your own ass, being hard on yourself. And there's Zig Ziglar says, if you'll be hard on yourself, life will be infinitely easier on you. So he's not talking about, he means I'm going to suck it up and do what needs to be done when it needs to be done, whether I feel like it or not. I'm not working off my emotions. I mean, do it if it propels you forward, or my feelings, but I'm doing what I said I was going to do. I live by my calendar. And so I'll end with this. If you will set aside 1 day a week and spend 3 hours doing whatever you got to do to get appointments to show, I always made them for the next week. People always give you an appointment for next week. Never ask for an appointment this week. They're always busy. They'll get stressed. Oh my God, I'm so busy. Well, can I meet with you next week for coffee? Next week, like, yeah, sure. I can meet you next week. This week's, every week's gone to hell for an agent. It's always the next week. And then you start 1 a day, 30 a month. You'll sponsor 5. In 5 months, you'll sponsor 25, just like I did. And then you get Eric Golden, and you get Sean Sturrock, and you get Jay Nelson, and you get Jeff Morrell, and you get your team involved. Get your team involved and it will grow. Anyways, there you go, Eric. Oh, by the way, if someone could type this in the chat bar, buildevent22.com. Buildevent22.com is where you can get your ticket and come.
Let's close with these 2 questions because they're my favorite to ask on the 20 question hotline. So go as long or as short as you'd like as we come up against the time. The first one is this. You meet someone at the hotel lobby and you find out that they're an agent, and you walk over to the elevator, and you only have 30 to 45 seconds while you're waiting for that elevator to give them what we call the elevator pitch. What would be your elevator pitch for EXP?
Awesome. So, hey, so Jay Nelson, you're an agent. Yeah, I mean, what brokerage you with, Jay Nelson? He goes, oh, I'm with Remax. I go, dude, that's awesome. What state? He goes, oh, I'm from Nashville, Tennessee. I'm a Nashville guy. I'm like, oh man, I'm always looking for referral agents. I don't know anyone in Nashville. Do you have a card? The next client I have relocate to Nashville, instead of calling a stranger, I'm calling you. Do you have a card or a way I could reach out to you? Oh, I don't have a card. I go, well, if you want, I can get your number. Then by the way, if you know anyone moving to Sacramento, I'd love a referral too. This is a very normal way for agents to exchange information. And Jay's going, oh my God, I got this guy. He's a saint. He wants to send me referrals from California. And then I'm asking, hey, can I have them back? And I would love to reciprocate. And if you know anyone moving to Northern California, I'd love a referral too. And they will give you their information. I never prospect them. There is no elevator pitch. I guess my elevator pitch is, my reason for talking to them is the referral piece. They will give you their card. It makes sense. Hey, can I have your name and number? What for? Hey, you want to check out EXP? I just met you. It's like you meet a girl. Hey, you want to go out tonight? It's like, slow down. Slow down, Romeo. You don't even know me. Find a reason to get to know them. Then you invite them maybe to coffee, which I did with my wife. And she's like, I don't drink coffee, but you could take me to dinner. I'm like, better. It's her idea. I didn't say, do you want to go to dinner? That's a little forward. Same thing with the agents. Slow down, be smart. I don't know if I answered your question, but there you go, Eric.
You answered it perfect. Last question is this, the glimpse of the future. As excited as you have been about EXP, I've seen you over the last 4 years as I've been here, get more and more excited. Let's close out today. And by the way, thank you for just being who you are, for what you do for yourself, your family, because that has to come first. But now you've opened it up to make your family all at EXP, and we appreciate that. Close out with this. Why are you so flippin' excited about our future?
Well, I'm always learning and growing, and I just attended a John Maxwell event. Next month, I'm in Sundance, Utah, August 2nd through the 5th at Robert Redford's resort, where they do the Sundance Film Festival, maybe fly fishing, horseback riding, but I'm getting there to mastermind with people like Dean Graciosi. John Maxwell was at our last one, Gary Brecka, Randy Yarn. People show up there. This is like 40 or 50 people. By the way, anybody on this Zoom, if you want to hang out with me in Sundance, Utah, next month for 5 days and fly fish and horseback ride and have some, but also there's probably 6 or 7 hours of masterminding a day and meet the most amazing people. None of them are with EXP. I am constantly exposing myself to this stuff. I paid $150,000 last year to be a part of Platinum Partners with Tony Robbins. Met people. It's incredible. And I've learned a couple of things. Number one, hunger is your greatest asset. Man, if you want it, you'll figure out how to change it. Some of you just aren't hungry enough. When you are desperate, there's the desperate, needy, bad, but desperate for change, you will change. Frustration is a precursor to success. You're frustrated, good, because you finally do something with it. Well, I'm just kind of miserable. You're in trouble, miserable in trouble. But I'll say this, energy. I have really learned over the past couple of years that energy is the key to everything. Tony Robbins taught me that. Like if you have a dead relationship or marriage, you're not putting energy into it. If your kids, like I'm not connecting with my teenage kids, you're not putting energy into it. I'm not sure what to do. Do you have a coach? Well, I don't have a coach. I'm a parent. You say, good job, bad job, spank them when they're bad, love them, hug them when they're good. You know, how difficult is parenting? There's a lot more to it than that. That's what I found out. I go to parenting events all the time. I asked my marriage counselor, we have a counselor, about the kids. We discuss the kids. It affects our marriage. And so energy and hunger is key. And if you want to come to Sundance and hang out with me, I think there's like 4 or 5 spots left. Reach out to me and you can come to that event and hang out with me and some of the most incredible people, because that proximity is power. Randy Yarn, you have no idea. He has a big giant thing with like a Lear jet, 4 helicopters. I mean, these guys play on a big scheme, and he's the most loving. He's got like 6 kids. He's always fly fishing with his kids in Utah. And he's like personal friends with Tony Robbins, like people you don't even know about that are amazing. And they get up there at this mastermind, 40 of us, not 4,000, 40. So how about this? I don't know who I'm talking to, but if you want to come to Sundance, it'll cost you like $6,000 to attend. I paid $35,000 to join the mastermind for one person, Gary Brecka. One person. As soon as I heard Gary Brecka was there, you guys didn't know who he is. I know that you don't know who he is. He sold his company for $150 million. And he's going to change the face of human. Gary Brecka is going to be there. I joined this mastermind and dropped 35. I couldn't get my Amex card out quick enough. So they do a little, hey, come check us out for like $6,000, $59.99. So I don't know who I'm talking to, but if you want to be there, come to Sundance and you get that stuff in here, then you can apply it out there and you have success. Hope is not a strategy. Reach out to me. My cell phone number is 916-223-5555. It's not my event. I don't get a dime. I don't need the money. I make lots of money. I want your life to change. I am a change agent. I'm a history maker. I'm called to be a patriarch, someone who leaves his mark, because I've decided I'm going to do this. And I believe God's called me that. God's called me to love, to build a love boat. He's called you to build a love boat. Do you love your employees? Do you love your agents? Do you love your clients? Do you love your kids, your neighbors? Love thy neighbor. Build the love boat, man. Come on. You're all like Captain Steubings here. Some of you are, you know what I'm talking about. Julie McCoy, Isaac, Doc. Come on, baby. Anyways, I give it back to you, Eric. Enough said. Reach out to me if you want to come to Sundance, August 2nd through 5th. I'll see if I can get you in.
We look forward to seeing you in the 3rd week of August at the Gaylord. All of us will see you there. Thank you very much for your time today. And of course, the legendary way you're leading us all. Brent, have a great afternoon. Tell Mama we said hi.
Love you guys. Thank you, Eric. Respect. You guys are the best.
Take care, buddy.
Bye-bye.